Hey guys, hope you're having a great day. So I'm just still down here at the moment. It's going to be a warm day today. It's going to be about 36 degrees Celsius or 96 degrees Fahrenheit. Let me just put these sugar bags down and I'll have a chat. Yeah, I don't know what that means, nasty bees. So anyway, today's a day of total fire ban here in the lower part of Victoria. So there's no smokers allowed, no hot works. So if you're concerned about the bees being nasty, you know, we're not using a smoker today anyway. So, yep, Jake always brings the wins. Not sure that's correct. So it's going to be a pretty warm one today. It's going to be about 36 degrees Celsius or 96 degrees Fahrenheit. It's really quite dry down here in Victoria at the moment. We're going through what they call a green drought. So everything looks relatively green, but there's really no moisture anywhere. You can sort of just tell when you look at the ground, it's really quite dry. Hey Lindsay, so it's about 9 a.m. thereabouts, I think. It's a bit after 8:30. But yeah, so we're going to keep feeding these bees. We've been feeding these bees all year. So no flow this year. The bush hasn't been kind. I don't go about moving the bees around Victoria. I just leave them in the same spot. We've got some clover that grows out in the fields over there. This year that clover hasn't produced. There's been a few wildflowers. We've also had a little bit of blackberry that's come on, which has been sort of good. It's just given the bees a bit of, you know, sustenance. But ultimately, as you can see from this forest, it's quite dry. Every time I come down here, I grab the binoculars and I have a bit of a look around at the treetops to see if there's any sign of flowering, or there's some new growth up there which you won't be able to see. But yeah, so it's been a tough year this year throughout Victoria, throughout Australia. I think with beekeeping there's been a lot of people that have had some major issues. Not only have they had, you know, varroa might start to infiltrate New South Wales and down into Victoria, but the you know, the flowers just haven't been coming. So what I'm doing down here today is I've fed these guys. I took a box off this hive here. That's that box that's sitting up there. This hive here, the white hive too, relatively wild bees. But as you can see, well, you probably don't know this, but these bees in those 4 high boxes, they have never been fed this year. And that box down there, the triple down there, that's also a split that was made off this hive. So this hive we call the white hive 2. That hive down there is the original white hive. It was in this position, but when I took a split off this hive here, the queen ended up in there. So white hive 2. And 2 weeks ago, I came down here and I actually took a split off this hive, another split, and popped it in that box there. And if you're interested to know, this is, you know, what happens in beekeeping. It started to rain quite heavily when I took this split off this, off the white hive. And I drove away having never removed the entrance reducer. So you can see here, there's quite a few dead bees, but don't be too concerned about that, because last week, which was 6 days after the split, I came down, opened them up. I won't tell you what happened because there's a video, but anyway, I opened them up, but they're all good now. But yeah. So really nice spot to have bees. I'm down in sort of Jellybrand Way, which is south of Colac in Victoria. It's a really, really lovely area. Lots of national park you can probably see off in the distance. Bit of farmland. But yeah, really, really nice area. So let's get into this hive here, which I don't talk about much on the channel. I've got a couple of hives that have got Liuan bees, which are the rarest queen bees and rarest bees on earth. They were taken down to an island off South Australia back in, I think it was the 1860s or something like that, and they're separated from the rest of the mainland, so the genetics are really, really pure. So I've got one of those queens in there, and I've also got another one of the queens in here, but they seem to be doing pretty good. All the bees are doing okay, but it's just been a furious event. Hey mate, yeah. So the spring has started and the spring is gone, and we're coming up to the second month of summer. And you know, normally in beekeeping you get that spring, you know, you get flooded with nectar in the spring, you have issues with swarming, you throw boxes on, your hives go up in height. But this year, these boxes are still sitting here, single boxes, and every week since the 1st of September, so I think that's maybe, September, October, November, December, January, 4 months, I've been coming down here with my 20 litres of sugar syrup. That's one that I left down here. There's another one I've got sitting there ready to go. So I've been coming down here with the sugar syrup, and I've been feeding these bees every single week. I mean, apart from the white hive. Yeah, we haven't had a lot of rain. It's been really funny. We had a fairly wet spring, but for some reason the flowers just didn't come on. So we've got like a grey box or grey gum forest behind us. There's pine plantations off in the distance. Excuse me. I don't know if you can see, there's a pine plantation on that little ridge over there. It's pretty wild country, but very, very tough for beekeeping. So I'll let you have a look at another 2 hives I've got right down the back here. So these 2 hives I've got down the back here, these are hives that I rescued. I actually got contacted through one of the Facebook groups, and someone was getting rid of some bees. They hadn't looked in the bees for a number of years. So I bought these bees down. When I bought them down, they were in very, very poor condition. Yeah, winter's around about, well, we're in summer, so we've still got autumn to go. So about 4 months away from winter. But yeah, so these hives here are the rescue hives. They've been doing really, really well since I took them out of the old boxes, stripped out all the old frames. I've been feeding them vigorously. I've got these 9-litre hive top feeders. Had a couple of emergencies. And of course, all this stuff I'm talking about, you can go back in our videos and you can watch all these things. So you can have a look when I rescued these hives, the absolute horrific condition these hives were in. 2 boxes high, no frames in half of each of the top boxes. It was like someone had taken out 5 frames of honey and just left these hives for 2 or 3 years. The honey was quite sour, so I think it was probably a wax moth infestation. There was wax moth holes in all the frames. But yeah, so beekeeping in the southern part of Australia. Let's jump in. It's a bit bright here, so I'm having a hard time reading the comments. Plus, I'm also watching where I'm walking. But let's get into one of these hives. I'm going to feed. Let's get into the Ligurian bees right here. So I've fed these other 5 hives along here. 4 hives. I didn't feed that one. And let's get into this one and have a bit of a look. I'll just grab my tripod. So these bees are really, really lovely. They've got different markings than you usually see on most bees. But all bees are pretty busy. They're flying for something. They're just not getting an enormous amount of anything. So let's pop them open. As I said before, no smoker because we're in a bushfire season. Ooh. Do you want to know what it's like beekeeping in Australia? That's what it's like beekeeping in Australia. We get enormous huntsmen. Oh, where's he gone? There he is. So we get enormous huntsman spiders. They're not harmful. Ooh. Some people sort of think most spiders are pretty small, but in Australia we get these huge, huge huntsman spiders. They are what they are. You often find them crawled up in your corner of your ceiling in your house, sitting there waiting to get fed by passing flies. But yeah, they're not dangerous. At least I don't think they are. Anyway, if you've got a fear of spiders, I apologise. So I'm just going to get him off so he doesn't end up in the hive. All right, he's gone down the bottom. Let's have a look in this hive. As I said, I'll say it again, no smoker. Let's suss them out, see what happens. So, they've been doing quite well. Look at that, they're really stuck open. I'm just going to shake these bees off this box. There we go. So they're really flighty. I can't smoke them. You can see they're just going for everything. They're not really going for me. So I'll pop a frame out. If you're new to the channel, welcome. What you'll find in my channel is really high quality beekeeping videos. I really like to showcase the bees and the brood. I have a lot of close-ups. So look at that. That looks pretty good. So a little bit of nectar up in the top here. Lots and lots of brood. I'm sure you're probably having a hard time hearing me because of the amount of bees on this camera. Lots and lots of brood. A little bit of drone brood here. And look at that. So the bees have been going all right. I mean, they're brooding up but they just don't have anything other than the absolute bare minimum. We've got a bit of chalk brood in that hive. You can see there. I mean, strong hives, chalk brood probably doesn't matter, but weak hives, it probably does. So let's have a look on this outside frame. I just want to see what their stores are looking like. Okay, so outside frame looks really good. So we've got eggs. I don't know if I hold it close enough, you probably won't be able to see that. Eggs, brood. See if I can't quickly find the queen. Chalk brood. So chalk brood is like a sort of maybe like a fungusy sort of thing that bees can get, and what happens is the brood, before it has a chance to hatch, actually gets hard and sinks to the bottom of the cell and looks really, really dry. It looks terrible, and it can affect a weak colony. It can make a weak colony weaker. Strong colonies tend to pull the chalk brood larvae out. Look at that. Look at that little patch of honey there. So any honey that you see in this hive is fake honey because I've been feeding them for so long. Eventually when the flow does come on, because we normally get a pretty good autumn flow, eventually when that happens, I imagine I'll get a little bit of actual honey, maybe a box off each hive if I'm lucky. But yeah, beautiful spot down here. Oh, not so much like a bee miscarriage. It's a disease, so the larvae becomes hard. Maybe like a bee miscarriage. Look at that, there's our little queen. So as I said, this is the Liuan bees. These are from South Australia. This bee doesn't want to be seen again, this queen. Oh, there she is. So she's a beautiful queen, isn't she? She's got a really dark sort of tail on her. There she is. So as I said before, if you're new to the channel, this is pretty standard to see queens even more close up than that. Just pop that across. So I've made that nice and packed up, so she's all happy there. Which hive, oh sorry, which comb did I pull out? I think it was this one. So I'll pop that brood back in. So I don't know if you can see, there's that chalk brood. It's like in amongst there. I can't zoom in with this current situation, but yeah, there's sort of white brood. I'll see if I can't find a piece of chalk brood and show you all. It's a bit of a crappy thing. I'm going to pop the lid back on. Oh no, actually not one. What I'm going to quickly do, just 1 second, I'm going to put you all down. Okay, there we go. So we're going to lift the bottom of this box up and have a look underneath. Oh yeah, look at that. Gee, there's some bees in there, isn't there? I'm just going to put you back down so I can close this up without squashing many bees. Actually, I might just put you all here for a second. Enjoy the view. Okay, so feeding the bees. So I've got these black, I know they're plastic bags, don't kill me. I've got these plastic bags, I don't know why I said black. So what I do here is I've filled these up with 1-to-1 sugar syrup, and the reason I'm using 1-to-1 is to help the bees with a bit of nutrient. Nah, it's single. I haven't had a chance to get into 2 deeps yet. This one over here is 2 deeps, but we just do single brood in Australia. We seem to have great success. But so I've got my Hornsby Beekeeping. Well, that's interesting you say that, Lindsay, because so many times I've thought about letting people, subscribers, name the queens. So what we do here, we've got a bag with sugar syrup in it. We've got the sharp edge of the hive tool, and we just cut 3 small slits, and then what happens is that the air slowly comes out, and then the liquid just ends up sitting on those little slits, and the bees can come and get it whenever they want, and that'll give the bees nutrients for about a week. So let me close this up. Go, that one's that one. So pop this extended lid back on. So that one's all fed. So I suppose let's get into these other ones. I think this white hive, sorry, not white hive, this is the yellow hive. I think that's the yellow hive. These hives used to have multi-coloured names, but in the last year I've done that many movements of hives and splits and twists around, I've forgotten all their names. So I know this one's the purple hive, I know this one's the red hive, mainly because it's got a red number on it and the lid's purple on this one. Yeah, the galvanised covers can get hot, but what we usually do, let me have a look at what I've got over here in the way of lids. I don't have any, oh yeah I do. So the galvanised covers can get hot, but they've got a fair bit of space. So in this space here, what we usually do is we usually put in a hive mat. So just like this one here, you can see the bees have chewed that one up. And the hive mat actually gives a bit of insulation, but because I'm feeding, you can't put the hive mat. Let me just get rid of this other camera here. If you're more inclined to have a look at Instagram, you can check out our Instagram, which is called Sting Honey. Let me just pack this stuff up. Okay, now more organised. Let's get into this other one. Actually, I just saw a lid over here for me camera. Pick that up. Okay, so let's get into the purple hive and give it a feed. Let's move this and I realise that I need it. So purple hive has been going really, really well. We've requeened them earlier in the year. Let's pop them open, check them out. So as I said before, no smoke. Because we're in it's actually a bushfire, total fire ban. That lid's really loose. Okay. So let's have a quick look at this store. Bring you all a bit closer. So this outside frame, you can see they've utilised the feed I've been feeding them, and they've made some comb there. So really, really light. So that's all pollen, and you can see this bee here is bringing in some pollen. So just pop that frame aside. So next frame in, second frame, lots and lots of brood, look at that. And on the other side, lots of brood as well. So we'll dive straight into the centre of the nest, just check out how wide this nest is. So it looks like this nest is only here because on this frame here, which is still 2 to go, there's no real brood. So what I'm going to do to try to expand this brood nest is I'm going to grab this frame here out and I'm going to put it in the centre of this brood nest. And then I'm going to pop that original frame back in. So whenever you're packing up your frames, always make sure they're nice and tight in the brood nest. I'm going to leave this comb on because when I put this bag on top, it actually gives them a little bit of a buffer between the bag and their bees. So a couple of splits in the hive, lid back on. In the bag, sorry. All right, that one's done. So now we're going to check out the red hive, give them a bit of a feed. Now, before I open this hive up, I'll let you all know that the red hive can be a little bit pissy. So let's open them up and see what happens. So warm day today, the wind started to pick up. You can probably tell. But yeah, warm day today, so we're in here a bit early. 36 degrees Fahrenheit, Celsius, sorry. So 96 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, let's pop the red hive open and have a look. So if you're looking to buy these are called M-locks. They're a really, really good hive lock. That wind's really, really picked up now. Just a bit of a gust. So the lid's really stuck closed. So it looks pretty good, doesn't it? They look pretty healthy. All the hives look pretty healthy. They're just really just living on fake sugar. That's the problem. So outside frame. I'm just trying to get these bees off the camera. So outside frame. So a little bit of honey stores, but other than that, really nothing. So I'll just quickly pop this frame aside down there. The next frame in, I just had a quick look. It looks like it's got some brood on it. Just a tiny little brood up the top there. But potentially minimising their nest because they've gone past the longest day in the year. Sorry about all the bees. I'm sure it's very annoying having all these bees all over. Ooh, gee. So we've got larvae in there. You can probably see that larvae deep down. And that's all been laid out with eggs. So that's really good. I probably would have liked to have seen a lot more capped brood in this hive. Let's jump in and have a look at this frame deep down in here. As you can see, they're really quite flighty. I am getting into their nest a fair bit though, so I think it's time to get these guys packed up. Pop that frame back in. Get some sugar syrup on them. You put the bag on slowly. What you can actually do is sort of bump the bees out of the road and you end up with no bees underneath the bag, which was a bonus. Okay, so 3 slits, lid back on. I'll pop that M-lock back on as well. I don't know how many countries use these M-locks. They're really, really good. All they are is a latching system. You just latch this component onto there, and then you just flip it over, and as you flip it over, it sort of tightens it. Really good. Now, let's quickly have a look at this one here. I don't think these bees will need feeding. Oh, there's lots of bees up the top. That's probably a good sign. I don't think they need feeding at all, do you, ladies and gentlemen? So upper of 2 boxes. And we've got brood, look at that. Just beautiful. And they've actually got lots of nectar in between that brood too. So I'm not going to do anything with that. I'm just going to leave it. So I like to put their mat on them. And I also like to put an excluder on top of that. And what that does is it holds the excluder down into a good position. Right, lid on. It's a bit difficult to beekeep while you're filming. Not to say it can't be done. Okay, so that's that cluster of 4 hives. I might just walk away for a little bit because there's an enormous amount of bees on this camera, stinging the absolute crap out of it. That's a bit weird. So I've gone about maybe 20 metres away. That's 60 feet. And they're still on me. They're on my legs and bits and pieces. The camera has got like 150 stings on it, or maybe less. Maybe 60 stings. Oh, a bit on the other side. But alright, so let's get back into it. I need to make up some more sugar syrup bags. So I'm just going to grab that tripod, set you guys back up. And then what we'll do is we'll go and drop a bit of food on these 2 hives here, and then we'll check out those abandoned hives. Starting to warm up a fair bit, which was always going to happen. So, sugar syrup. So double lock, Ziploc bags, 1-to-1 sugar syrup. I'm just going to quickly change over this. Yeah, look, you can't actually reuse the bags because you cut slits in them. And I know it's a terrible, terrible waste of plastic, and it's a terrible introduction of plastic into your hive. but I don't know what else to do. I didn't think that this year was going to go on so long, having no food. I was going to change the tap in this, but I really didn't think that this was going to go on so long, having to feed the hives. Otherwise, I would have just bought hive top feeders, and I think next year I'm just going to buy hive top feeders. Let me take that tap out. I think this tap's open. It's always good to check that tap is open. Just want to have it nice and tight, but you don't want to strip the thread. I've stripped the thread on one of these once and the sugar syrup just flows out like nothing else. All right, so reload. We take the lid off. Sorry, I missed that comment. Okay, so I'll put you back on this tripod. Have a check to make sure you can see what's going on. Yes, you can. And fill up a couple of bags. Actually, I'm only going to need 2 bags for this one, and one of these is a nuke, so it only needs a little bag. So it sort of works out well because I end up just leaving the rest of this syrup here and I don't have to worry about bringing any more down. A nice big bag of syrup there. So grab our 2 bags. Bring you guys along as well. They're really quite strong, so I've just dropped that from about 1 metre in the air and it hasn't opened. Okay, so this is the Hornsby hive. This box was donated by Hornsby Beekeeping and the queen was donated by a lovely lady, Robin, one of my subscribers. These are Italians. I'm not sure how well they are situated for this part of Australia. So if you're new to the channel, my name's Steve and these are my bees. Basically this year I've just been a full-time bee feeder. We've had a terrible season. So this outside frame is very, very light. A little bit of pollen there, but other than that, nothing. So next frame in is pretty indicative of this hive. Really, really nice brood frame. I'll let you have a bit of a closer look at that. So really nice place in Victoria, just really dry at the moment. Thanks Lindsay, glad you like it. So I'll pop you back there, get this back in. Let's delve straight into the centre of the hive. Look at that. So I can smell the sap in this hive. So it tells me that they're working the flowers, or at least working the bush. There's our queen. There's our little Italian queen there. Where's... Oh, you're not talking to me, sorry. Lindsay, I was going to say, where's PA? Is PA Pennsylvania? So you can see that big juicy queen just wandering around there. I thought it might be. I watch a fair bit of YouTube beekeeping. Mike Barry, he's a pretty good guy. Obviously I watch, what's the Canadian beekeeping guy's name? I can never remember his name. Beekeeping's a funny thing to do, isn't it? It's really, sometimes it's really rewarding, and then other times it gives you nothing. All right, let's have a crack at this frame. So this one's a bit further out in the nest. It's about frame, yeah, Ian Stepler, that's the guy. You can probably see there. Normally when I'm filming my videos, I can zoom in really tight. Have a check out of some of my previous videos. You will not see better beekeeping videos, better beekeeping footage than you find on my channel. Absolute close-ups of... Right now, these are just... They are fascinating. So yeah, so you will not see better videos of bees than what you see on my channel. I'd love to zoom in and show you all exactly a close-up of these bees being hatched, but I'm sure if you look hard enough on the channel, you'll find them. Okay, so let's get this one packed up and get some food on them. And then we'll just... Oh, far out, I'm a bit tired today. I had a big weekend. So then what we're going to do is we're going to suss out this other nuke that's over there. Okay, so closed up. Let's put some sugar on them. So if you plonk the box... If you plonk the bag down, you'll squash some bees, right? But then what you do is you just gently go back and forward and back and forward, and the bees work out that there's something going to be laid down on top of them, so they all walk away. And then if you do that, what you end up with is you end up with a bag of sugar syrup and no bees underneath it, which is an absolute ripper of a thing. Okay, so just like the other ones, some little slits, that surface tension will take over. Pop the lid back on. We'll pop the other lid back on. And there you go, they're good to go. So let's check out this nuke. So this nuke has got Ligurian bees in it. Ligurian bees were brought over from Italy in about the 1880s to a little island off the bottom of South Australia called Kangaroo Island. Now these bees have been secluded from the mainland for the best part of 100 and something years. So what that's given these beekeepers, where these came from, is a pure genetic line, the original queen bee genetics. So let's have a look. I'd love to be messaging or at least answering all your comments, but I've got some stuff on at the moment. I don't know if you noticed. Thanks for watching, everyone. I appreciate it. Let's have a look at this hive. So they were quite weak. Because of the crap season that we've had, I've been building these bees up for about 12 months. So let's pop them open and have a look. So lots of bees on the lid, so I'm just going to quickly give that a tap. Don't worry, I didn't tap the whole lid, I just tapped the end of the lid. So let's get that out. So I would like to see 4 frames of brood in this hive. Based on past experience, I'm tipping I'm probably going to find 2. Gently, gently. Oh, look at that. That's a nice frame of brood, isn't it? So the Ligurian bees, you can tell they've just got a little bit of a different colouring to normal bees. Got a bit more brown in them. I'll see if I can't find the queen in this hive. Well, they're really starting to build up, which is really awesome. I've had such troubles getting this hive to get going. So what's that, 2 frames of brood? You'd be surprised, Lindsay, the drones are pretty easy to spot. Oh, it's stuck down. Gently, gently. Oh, there's our queen. Look at that. As she ducks away. So good frame of brood, that. I don't know where the queen went. I don't mind. There she is, up in the corner there. You can spend all day going back and forward trying to find the queen. But I'm just going to put her back nice and gently. So 4 frames of brood, and solid brood at that. So next frame in, another really, really good frame of brood. I might just shake this frame off so the viewers at home can have a better look at what this looks like. So I'll just plonk the frame 3/4 of the way into the hive and then just give it a bump. So you can see there. So looking at that, like, it's good brood. It's got a lot of eggs and larvae in between the rest of the brood, but it's not as fabulous as it looks. Ooh, not too bad on that side. So 5 frames of brood. These guys could almost go into another box, couldn't they? I'm not going to put them in another box yet, and that's because they've still got... Oh, geez, they've got flighty all of a sudden. They've still got a fair bit of way to go on this last frame. Because I've only got one hand. I didn't want to drop the frame. If I had to bump that on top of the hive with one hand and drop the frame, that would have been more detrimental than shaking them inside the box. So I'm pretty happy. Very, very happy actually. Now, put you back up there for a sec. I'm just going to take a little bit of liquid out, a bit of air out of this bag. That will allow me to fold it over, and then I put it on top like that. And then give it a couple of slits, plonk the lid back on. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's head down and feed the rescue hives. As you can see, the bees are quite flighty. I don't know if you can tell. I might just walk away. The bees are hogging the camera here, I know. That's part of the fun though, isn't it? It's always nice when the bees hog the camera. We should close my car door. Just gonna have a quick drink of water. Yum. That was overdue. All right, let's wander down. I'm just going to grab this. Oh, gee, that's heavy. I'm just going to grab this syrup and take it down first. And now, I'm going to grab the stand for the camera. So we're down in the bottom of Victoria here, near the Otway National Forest. Beautiful spot. I have some regrets about going back near that hive. Okie doke, here we are. So, these two hives, which are now called the Phoenix hives, yeah, we've got a total fire ban, so we're not allowed to use smokers. Otherwise, we'd probably burn down part of the national park. Yeah, total fire ban is no hot works, no grinding, no welding, no beekeeping, no lighting or keeping a fire lit. So we're sort of stuck. So that's why they're a bit angry, but I thought I'm better off doing a quick live, how we're nearly an hour in. I'm better off doing a live video and showing you guys what it's really like down here than trying to film and edit some masterpiece. So let's have a quick look. I'll set you guys up so you can have a look in the top of the hive. So I imagine this has probably got no nectar in it. There you go, so that's completely empty, that's a good thing. And the bees underneath. So over the course of the last sort of 3 months, I've been swapping out these old frames. You can see they've got wax moth larvae holes in them with new frames. Let's jump into the centre of this nest and have a look. So that's a new frame I put in there a while ago. I am yelling because I can see all the bees on the camera. So they're still going quite slow. They haven't finished building up they're better off having this small amount of wax that's in good nick than what they did have, which is this wood frame here, which is in really, really poor condition. So not an enormous amount of brood, but I have been reworking these frames a fair bit. So that's all laid out in between. I'm going to see if I can't find you all the queen. Oh, that's an interesting concept. So right here, we've got a chewed open supersedure cell. So they have attempted to make a new queen. Look at that. They probably have. Oh bugger. Look at that, it had an egg in it. I don't know if you can all see that, but there's an egg in there. I know it's pretty blurry. Oh, so supersedure cell, it was quite badly damaged. It looked like it had actually been chewed out. So they could be queenless. That's a real bugger. It's a pity I can't... Yeah, maybe. They've had some struggles, this hive. They've really had some struggles ever since I took them apart when I first brought them down here, which they needed to be. But I don't know, I hope you can see that queen in there. All right, let's see what else we've got. So we've got eggs. So that's the weird thing. So we've got eggs. So maybe the queen's performance has been lacking a little bit. Well, that's a good frame. It's a really good frame of brood. So there's another queen cup as well. And this one's been completely chewed open. So that could be a very, very exciting part of the experience for these bees. Let's see what sort of a queen they make down here, because that's a queen cell that's been chewed open and doesn't have an egg in it. Now let me see if I can find more eggs in this hive. Oh yeah, there's heaps of eggs. We've got absolutely tons of eggs in the hive. Yeah, well that's possible virgins, but there's it's a really good covering of eggs in the comb, and single eggs as well. Maybe she is just a little bit tired and they can recognise that. I can't imagine they've swarmed because they've got some empty comb. I'm just having a quick look for the queen in here. They sort of feel like they're a bit queenless. They're really flighty, but they're in good nick. We've got baby bees emerging. They've just got that flightiness about a hive that's queenless. That's all nectar. Anyway, look, there's nothing I can do about it. They're either going to supersede you. Oh, there's our queen. Look at that right there. I hope you can all see her. She's just here. She seems to be in good nick. doesn't look worn out. That's her just there. There. Anyway, if she doesn't survive, she doesn't survive. But they know what they're doing, so I'm just going to very, very gently pop her back in there. Strange things are happening. So I'm just going to plonk. Oh, jeez. I'm just going to plonk that box on top of there. And after I've had a look in this hive, I'm going to feed these bees. But for now, they're stuck in there. They can't get out. Okay, so let's have a look at second of the rescue hives. Thanks for everyone for sticking along with this story. So we're down in the bottom of Victoria. We've had a terrible, terrible drought this year with virtually no nectar. So I've been feeding these bees for 4 months. So no syrup here, just sticky leftovers. Let's pop them open, see what we find. So good bee numbers. I'm not able to use the smoker today because we've got a total fire ban in Victoria. If you have a total fire ban, there's no hot works, no beekeeping, no lighting of fires. So these guys look really, really empty. We've got some honey, that's good. But there's not an enormous amount of bees on top of this hive. We're doing okay. We've got good brood, that's the main thing. So we've got nice nectar up here. We've got some baby bees being born. And similar on that side. So next frame in. Oh, that looks good. So that's emerging brood. Hopefully I can find this beautiful queen for you. So really, really nice brood. I apologise for half the bees in my bee yard on the camera at the moment. That's one of the original frames, old comb. So they're doing okay, but they're not doing fabulous, are they? There's no sheets of brood. It's disappointing. You know, there's a consistent amount of bees and a consistent amount of brood, but they aren't moving as I thought they would have been. Being that they've been fed non-stop, I mean 9 litres of food non-stop for about 4 weeks. I wonder if they swarmed. Would they have swarmed being half empty? Maybe. Just gonna have a quick look for eggs again. We've got brood. Yeah, we've got eggs in amongst there as well. And a good amount of fake nectar. Okay, alright, so there's not much I can do except for feed them. Goodness. I apologise for all the bees on the camera, ladies and gentlemen. So there we have it. So the wind started to pick up a little bit and it's really warm as well, which is sort of nice. It's blowing through the suit, which is sort of cooling, but it's pretty warm. You can probably see the rest of the bees are flying quite well. Warm day and all. But there you have it. I'm going to end this video off now. That's the rest of the bees fed. I really appreciate everybody coming along and checking out me feeding the bees. If you'd like to check out the rest of our videos, have a look at our channel. Plenty of good bee content. See you on the next one. Steering's on the right side, not on the left. See you all later.